Hey, what's up everybody? Today I'm going to do a tax return in TurboTax. I'm going to just walk through it. Last time I used TurboTax was last year when I did this same video, and that was the first time I had ever used TurboTax. So I'm going to go through doing a tax return. It's just information I'm going to make up on the fly right here, and I'm just going to walk through it for you. You're going to get my feedback on TurboTax, and then I'll give you some tips and some advice here. And I'm going to be frank with you, I don't really like these self-prep softwares. I don't like the interview style that I have to go through. Typically, in the software that I use, I simply plug in the information into the data entry screen without having to jump through all these irrelevant questions, but I get it. They're there for you, and so let's jump in and do this. First thing we have to do is we have to enter in our information. So I'm going to enter in some fake information here and start my taxes. Let's go. All right, if I have a PDF, I'm going to skip uploading because I don't have anything there. I am married. Did you have children or other dependents? Yes, I did. Did you get a W-2? Yes, I did. Did you contract or freelance work? I'm actually going to say yes here so that we can walk through a Schedule C self-employed business for those of you who have that. If you don't have that, you can skip over that section. Did you get unemployment? I'm going to say yes again because a lot of people got unemployment in 2020, so I want to walk through that for you. Did you withdraw money from a retirement plan? Again, I'm going to say yes here because I saw a statistic that quite a few people took money out of their retirement plan this year because of the pandemic in order to help them pay bills, or simply because they were able to take it since they were affected by COVID-19. Do you want to tell us about the other income you had now? No thanks. Skip that. Do you own a home? Yes, I do. Did you donate to charity? We'll say yes, I did. Did you pay student loan interest? Yes, I did. Again, I'm saying yes to these things because most of you have them, and that's why I want to show you how to do it here in the program. Did you pay tuition? I'm going to say no, I didn't pay any current tuition because we've got that student loan that I just mentioned. Did you pay child or dependent care? I will say yes. All right, do you have any of these other deductions? We're going to say no on these. All right, John, we're off to a great start. Sounds great. Let's keep going. Last year was tough. Let's make it easy. Know what to expect with these personalized tax tips. All right, these are just tips they want to tell me about. I'm going to skip over that. Sign now, save time later. By sharing your tax info, save time and effort. With your okay, you can get personalized analysis. I don't really want to do this. No thanks. All right, so they're going to ask me to start with my personal information. Let's jump in. Let's do that. I'm going to type in fake social and hope that it takes it. It's not going to. Let's see if it'll let me move on without one. I am a worker. Former member of the armed forces? No. North Carolina, I lived in another state? No. A few other things we need to know. Someone else can claim me as a dependent? Nope. Legally blind? Nope. Not preparing it for someone who passed away. Not want to change the language. I already said married. Do you want to file this return together? Yes, I do. First name of spouse is Jane Smith. Her date of birth is also January 1, 1984. She is also a worker. Spouse a member? Nope. North Carolina. Lived in another state? Nope. Someone else can claim her? No. Legally blind? No. Passed away? No. Language? No. Do you have children? Yes, I have children. My child. First name, Jack Smith. Date of birth, January 1, 2010. This is a son. The child is not adopted nor a foster child. Jack lived with me the whole year. Months in the U.S. the whole year. Disabled, passed away, none. Let's know if Jack is one of the few kids who pay more than half of his own living expenses. Nope, I pay all of them. That is absolutely for sure. Legal parents are both of us. Did a relative live in your home and help Jack? No. Good news. Jack qualifies as your dependent. That is good news. Jack social, well, we're going to skip that for now. And add our second dependent. This is my child again. This is Jill Smith. Date of birth, January 1, 2012. U.S. citizen, daughter, not adopted or a foster child. Lived with me for the whole year in the U.S. for the whole year. Didn't pass away or disabled. Doesn't pay more than half for her own support. We're both the parents. And no, another relative did not live in the home. Good news. Jill is also dependent. Perfect. That's all of our children. All right, enter your address. We're going to say 111 Main Street, Raleigh, North Carolina. Double check your address. Sounds great. We did not make any money in any other states. All right, this is okay. So your info is missing. That's fine. We'll come back. I didn't put in social security numbers. So, all right, this is where TurboTax, they're going to try to upsell you, all right? So they want to give me the free edition, federal and state return. I don't get a one-on-one specialist. I don't get personalized tax tips. I don't get an easy online amend. Well, I plan on doing it right the first time, so thanks but no thanks. Let's see, my documents, audit defense. Let's read about their audit defense. Confidently handle an audit by the IRS with a dedicated expert who will represent you and communicate with the IRS. Develop a plan of action when purchased between November 1, coverage. All right, that might not be that bad, but I'm going to pass on it because, you know, I'm going to have to spend $30 in order to get all of these things in plus, and I want to file for free. So we'll say not now. All right, John, let's get some more info. I worked a W-2 job. John has a W-2. Let's put that in. I'm going to skip the employer ID number. I'm going to type it in myself. Employer name. Let's say I work for Walmart. I'm going to skip their address for now. Oh, it's not going to let me. All right, so this is information you're just going to get straight off of your W-2. Based on the boxes here, let's just say I made $36,000 this year. Federal income tax withheld was $2,500. Let's get that out of the way. Box 3, we're going to say is the same amount. And it's going to make me type in all of these instead of auto-filling them, which would have been nice. But that's going to be $2,232. Box 5 would be $36,000, which would make box 6 $522. All right, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're going to say all of those are blank. I'm not in a retirement plan. State taxes, we will say, since we said we were in North Carolina, wages are the same, $36,000. They almost always will be the same for the state as they are the federal. We'll just say I have $1,000 of income tax. No local tax in this particular state or for this job. Let's double check that. Continue. All right, look at that. My federal refund so far is $9,000. Why in the world they give this to you at this point is beyond me, because I've typed in one W-2, and if you remember, I said I have a W-2 for myself, my spouse, Schedule C business, student loan interest deduction. I said that I have charitable contributions. So this is just pointless to me. All that's going to do is it's going to make you sad because that number is probably going to go down. But let's keep moving and work on this tax return. Let's check for uncommon situations. All right, I'm going to say none of these apply to me. All right, I don't need to add a W-2 for myself. Let's continue. Did you or Jane make any money from interest? I'll say yes. Did you sell any stocks? No. Did you sell your main home? No. Dividends from a holding company? No. Capital loss carry forward? No. Foreign bank account? No. All right, so I got my W-2 is in there. It needs review because I didn't put in all the information like the tax ID number for the employer. Some of the things we're just skipping. Self-employment income. Let's start that. I said I had some self-employment income. Yes. To accurately report this income, you'll need to upgrade. I can only do W-2 income in the free edition. Let's see what happens if I say don't upgrade. You need deluxe or self-employed to accurately report your business income. All right, I guess I'm going to have to upgrade. So I won't be able to file for free. Tell us about the specific to work in consulting. Who did this work or own this business? John did. Continue. It's a side job. All right. I started it in 2020 on April 5th, 2020, after the pandemic started. Figured I'd make some side income. No, I didn't make any payments to other people that I need to do that for. Select all that apply for your consulting work. I didn't actively participate. Well, I did actively participate. Subject to Department of Transportation hours of service limits. I don't think so. Information we need. Business name, none. Address, none. All right, looks good. Common income. I didn't get a 1099. No one sent me one. So we'll say other self-employment income. Type of income. Consulting. I made $25,000 on the side. Not too bad. Oh, look at that. My federal tax due just went to $769. All right, so now I'm not getting a $9,000 refund anymore. I'm paying $769. Did you have any more income? No, I didn't. Just that $25,000. All right, let's see if I have any deductions against that. There are thousands of industries. Let us know. Startup costs. Well, I definitely had some startup costs because I started the business this year. I don't have any large purchases. I didn't have any supplies. I did do a little bit of advertising. I didn't travel. I did have cell phone. I did work in my home. No legal fees, no meals. I had some office supplies. I drove my car. That sounds good. Income, $25,000. Startup costs. Yes, I had those things. Description. Startup costs. And let's just say I spent $500 getting my business up and running on April 30th. I don't know why it's asking me to. The date you entered is after the business start date of April 5th. Oh, okay, yeah, I want some startup costs before the business started. That's fine. Done with startup cost. How much do you want to deduct? Based on your total startup cost, you're entitled to deduct. Well, I want to deduct all of it. Thank you, TurboTax. Continue. Refund changed a little bit because I just deducted some expenses against the self-employment income. Vehicle. What kind of vehicle expense can I deduct? All right, I had a vehicle. Make and model. Hyundai Santa Fe. This type of vehicle is an auto under 6,000 pounds. When did you start using it? May 1. I own it. Was it available for personal trips? Yes, it was. I don't have a separate car for my work. You have another vehicle available? Well, I have my wife's car available. Keep track of the miles you drove. Well, if I say no here, they're not going to let you deduct it, actually. So I'll say yes. Don't say yes unless you actually kept track of it, though. That's an IRS requirement. Did you keep track of the miles you drove for personal reasons? Definitely not. I'll enter the total miles. First, enter the total miles you drove for any reason. Let's just say I drove 10,000 miles. Now enter the miles you drove for your consulting work. I drove 741 miles. Now I kept my mileage log. That's why I came out to 741. You type in an even number there and it's a clear indication you didn't actually keep a mileage log. Continue. No, I don't have a fleet of vehicles, just the one. I'm going to take the standard mileage deduction, $426. Parking fees, tolls, no, I didn't do any of that. Continue. No, I did not drive another vehicle. All right, I had a home office. I did work out of my home. I did not have more than one of them. Nope, I only used it for consulting work. Name of your home office. Home office? I don't know. I didn't name my home office like Bert. I didn't give it a name. Was it used for work only and nothing else? All right, that's another IRS requirement. You can click learn more and they'll probably tell you all about this. Well, they don't tell you a whole lot, but there you go. Yes, it was only used for work, because if it wasn't used exclusively for work, I can't deduct it. Did I regularly use it as a home office? Again, if I didn't regularly use it, I can't deduct it. Was it the primary place of where you worked? Yes, it was. Again, pandemic, I worked from home only. This is my side gig. I started using my home office on the same day I started the business, April 5th. How many months did you use this office? 2020, how many months did you use this office? Well, I started in April, so we'll say 8. What percentage of your work was done here? Well, I worked from home 100% and I had Zoom meetings. So the home office square footage is 100 square feet. The entire home is 2,500. And I'm going to take the simplified method. So if I don't take the simplified method, I'm going to end up having to type in my home mortgage interest, my utility bills, my repairs and maintenance of the house. And so I'm going to go ahead and use the simplified method, which I believe is typically, this says $333. Oh, that's why. So typically the simplified method, not typically, but it is $5 per square foot, which would come out to $500. But we said that we used the office from April 5th to December 31, so that's probably why it's coming out to $333 instead of $500. Communications. All right, I have a cell phone, and it's not going to ask me anything about this. You might type in your entire cell phone bill, but that might not necessarily be what you're allowed to deduct. So let's just say what I am allowed to deduct is $250. You have to do a little research on what you can deduct there, apparently. TurboTax didn't give me much guidance. Let's see, I run some Facebook ads. I spent $250 there. I ran some Google ads, and I spent a little more money there. And office expenses. Description. Again, here's some examples. I can see more examples. I don't see where any research is here to tell me what's legitimate and what's not, but I'm going to say I bought a computer. I spent $1,500 on that, and I brought a printer, and I'm going to say I spent $250 on that. Again, TurboTax, not much guidance there on what I was allowed to deduct, so let's just say that was everything. Much you're going to no, it all took place in the U.S. No, none of it was for a former employer. Are deductions I'll claim elsewhere? Nope, only going to claim them here. Are you ready to run your audit assessment? Sure. Let's run my audit assessment. Audit risk is low. Things look good. Deductions you may have missed. You missed some deductions. Most people have these additional deductions, supplies and meals. All right. That's nice. It's giving me a little bit of heads up. Hey, a lot of other people have this. That's fine. Do you or Jane have another line of self-employment work? Nope. Let's check your self-employment tax. Okay. Tax relief is available for self-employed people. Self-employment income and expenses. All right, so this is my net income. Remember, we put in $25,000 when we put in some deductions. My net income is $19,991. I'm going to owe income tax on that and self-employment tax. I'm back up to a federal refund, you'll notice here, though, so I'm not sure exactly why. All right, so unemployment. I said I had unemployment. So, yes, we received some unemployment. John was the only one who got unemployment. Payer name was Florida. Unemployment compensation, I got $1,500 in unemployment while I was unemployed. They withheld $150. Oh, sorry, we'll say, I forgot. This was North Carolina for my example of where I lived. All right. Let's say North Carolina. No income tax withheld here. Continue. Refunds changing up there a little bit. All right, done with that. Any of these situations? Nope, none of those apply. This is a lot. I could be done. I'd be honest with you. If I was doing this return myself, I could be done by now because I wouldn't have to jump through all these hoops and these questions. But again, you're not a professional tax preparer, so TurboTax is trying to do that for you by asking you all these questions. It's a lot of reading. It's a lot of time to do this. I think I might would pay a professional instead of going through this on my own. All right, I did have a 1099, which was just interest from a bank. Bank with Chase. I'm not going to enter that. I'm going to type it in myself. Received from Chase. Interest income was $250. All right. None of these apply. And I'm done with my interest income. There you go. All right, remember, I had an IRA that I said I withdrew. Let's see. All right, first time. This was definitely my first time getting a 1099-R. I don't have more than one. I did take money out before retiring. All right. First time, early withdrawal. Get ready to be impressed. I doubt that. All right. I'm going to change how I enter my form. I want to just type it in myself. There we go. It applies to me again. Financial institution, other buyer, other personnel. Continue. Who paid you? All right, I have my money with principal, let's say. Address, let's see if I can skip that. Thank you. My gross distribution. I took out $15,000. We needed this to live on because I was unemployed and needed that supplement taxable amount. This is going to be on the 1099-R, so you can see the gross distribution and taxable amount. Not determined. Capital gain, federal income tax withheld. We're going to say they withheld $1,500. It is an IRA. No, sorry, it's not an IRA. We'll say it's my 401k at work. All right, those, none of those. State info, no, none of that. Continue. Oh, yeah. So distribution code. It's going to have a distribution code. To be honest with you, I don't know those off the top of my head. Let me look that up real quick. All right, distribution code might be a 1, which is early distribution, no known exception. Is that box checked? Nope, it's not. Continue. Where's your distribution from? None of those. Took the money out because of qualified disaster. Gonna need to revisit that. I rolled it over, I converted it, I did a combination, I didn't roll over or convert. Did you receive payments from the retirement plan, regular rates such as monthly? No. Just the one time. Related to disasters weren't ready in time for us to include them in this release. All right. So that's all right because you can't actually file your return until February 12th anyway. So apparently TurboTax isn't completely updated with their software. So because I took this out due to the pandemic, TurboTax isn't ready for me to put that information in yet. I'm going to just keep going. You're taking distribution before. No, I haven't. Let's see if we can lower my tax bill. There's a qualified retirement plan. If you use the money John took out,
For neither following reason, you may have to pay additional tax. Equal, no. Medical, no. Personal, no. Death, no. No, no. Other reason. Well, I told you I took it out because of the pandemic, but they're not asking me about that. No. Continue. All right. Well, I think they were supposed to ask me some, but that might have had to do with the fact that the software is not quite done yet. All right, let's see. I need to add more income. My wife worked. So wages, start. Add W-2 for Jane. I'm going to skip the employer ID number and type it in myself. Now they will apparently update this. All right, so my wife worked at Staples. All right, my wife let's see, my wife works, she makes same thing I make. She makes about $36,000, except she had $3,500 withheld. She contributes to her retirement account though, which means this box is going to be lower by the amount she contributes to her retirement account. Social Security, box 12. All right, so like I said, she contributes to her 401k of $6,000. That's the difference here, the 36 and the 30, because she contributed pre-tax to her retirement account. That box is going to be checked because she is in a retirement plan. She's also with me in North Carolina. The wages are the same, 30,000. Sorry. State income tax, we're going to say was $750. Let me go back. I got this backwards actually. So because you contribute pre-tax to your 401k, box 1, which is your taxable wages, is going to be $30,000. Box 3 is going to be, and box 5, those are both going to be $36,000. The difference there being $6,000 because your pre-tax retirement contributions are not subject to income tax, which is what box 1 is. All right, double check it. Okay. Your tax due. I owe $982. All right. Continue. Continue. All right, that's everything. Wrap up the income section. Whew, I'm getting tired of talking. I'm tired of doing this return too. It's 11:40 p.m. They're going to try to upsell me again. No thanks. Tax experts are right here. Live tax advice. No, thank you. You're going to charge me for that too. I don't need that. Wasn't part of a federally declared disaster. Virtual currency. No, I didn't. All right, tax breaks. Did we have any children? Yeah, I already told you I had children. This is just getting repetitive now. Estimated tax payments? No. Dependent care expenses? I already told you yes to that too. HSA? No. Registration car? No. Now the other thing is, I actually know that I'm not going to itemize because about 90 to 95% of America is not itemizing, and I know that it's not going to add up to more than the 24,800, which is the standard deduction. So if I know that, I can probably skip all this, but otherwise you're going to be typing this in. If you're not sure if you're going to itemize or not, type this in because it'll add it up, and if you do get to itemize, you will. Mortgage interest, property taxes, child dependent. Donations to charity, though. Now, they did add the ability to deduct up to $300 for donations to charity, whether you itemize or not. So even if you know you're not going to itemize, you want to stick this in if you did it because you're going to get that $300 deduction. Well, who did I donate to? I donated to my church. What did you donate? Money, of course. Amount. I gave $1,500 one time. I mean, all you got to do is type in the total amount that you gave for the year. I don't know why it's asking me monthly. I guess it's going to do those calculations for me. But again, it's just a hassle, to be honest with you, to do this when, if you know how to do the return, you just type the information in. This takes forever. I don't know why anyone does their own tax return. Donations, student loan interest. Yes, I remember I said I did have student loan interest. I did get a 1098E. This was for my wife. Name of the lender. I borrowed it from Chase. Interest paid was $500. Continue. Continue. That's all my student loan interest. All right. Child dependent care credit. Oh yeah, that's where you might not know, but that's where, because my wife and I both work and our child was in daycare while we were both working, that makes that eligible for the tax credit. So I'm going to say yes. Whose care did I pay for? I paid for Jack. No, I just paid for my daughter. She was the only one. It was an organization. It was tax exempt. I just can type that in because they're not going to make me type in a whole lot of extra information because of that. All right, continue. The dependent was Jill. The care provider was the child care, and the amount I paid $3,500. All right, and because you paid $3,500 and the limit is $3,000, you can add Jack and increase your credit by $100, even though all expenses are paid for Jill only. Is this okay with the IRS? Yes, it will allow you to add a second qualified child with no care expenses to reach the $6,000 limit, even if you only had expenses for one child. All right, good to know. Continue. Do any of these uncommon? No, none's uncommon. There we go. All right. It didn't ask me if it was while we were both working, which is a requirement. So you need to know a lot of this stuff. You're going to have to click on a lot of these. Why do I have a $700 child dependent care credit? Click on some research. Maybe that's in the search box. You can research child dependent care credits there. But there's a lot of information you need to know that TurboTax isn't telling me. I'm going to wrap up my tax breaks. Did you get the Homebuyer credit for 2008? Do you remember if you got the Homebuyer credit for 2008? Oddly enough, I actually did get that Homebuyer credit. And the reason why it's asking you that is because it was it was either $7,500 or $8,500, and you had to pay it back $500 a year until it was paid back. So let's say it was $7,500 divided by 500. That would be 15 years. I think that was about right. From 2008, which would be 2023. So I'd still be paying that back if I had gotten it. We'll say no, I didn't though. Reduce your early withdrawal penalty. That would be nice. Qualified retirement plan. I already went through these questions. I'm going to say other reason. I don't remember how much I took out. It was $15,000. I took out the whole amount though. That lowered my tax bill. Yep, that was the total amount. Based on what you told us, the standard deduction is best for you. This is where I said my itemized deductions only added up to $3,250. But I don't know what all those were. Charitable cash contribution was $1,500. This is where it tells me I can deduct up to $300. And it deducted it for me. Let's see if you have any uncommon situations. Investment credit recapture? No. Live-in nanny? No. You want to apply your refund next year? No, I want to get it back. You want to designate $3 to the presidential campaign? Absolutely not. Identity theft? No, we didn't. Continue. All right, we're on a roll. Let's keep it going. Let's make sure you got the right stimulus amount. All right, it is going to ask me about the stimulus. Stimulus payments were issued in 2 rounds. Blah, blah, blah. Did you receive it? We'll need the exact amount. Yes. All right, first round payment would have been $1,200 for myself, $1,200 for my wife, and $500 for each child. That would have been $3,400. So we'll type that in. Total combined second round was $600 per person. That would be $2,400. Continue. We crunched the numbers. The amount you received looks right based on your AGI of $100,000. Whoa! How did my AGI get up to $100,000? Your total stimulus payment is $5,800. We're confident you got the right stimulus amount. Sounds great. Oh, I don't have this. This is if you bought insurance through the marketplace. We're going to say I didn't. Confirm. I don't want to type that in because this is not a real return. Continue. Just checking my federal return. Running some analysis, crunching the numbers for me. Here's what we found. 11 details for me. All right. I need some water. Personal info, wages and salary. All right. Everything needs review. because I didn't type in any social security numbers or tax ID numbers for my employers. That's fine. We're going to keep going. Still have a couple details to button up. That's fine. All right, I'm getting a $1,300 refund so far. All right, let's explain why I'm getting it. You and Jane had $102,000 in income. I made $36,000. She made $36,000. That's $72,000 plus the $15,000. That's only $87,000. 102 minus 87 is 15. Where did the 15 come from? Oh yeah, my self-employment business. Forgot that I had put that into this example. What's my total income? There it is. You paycheck withholdings. All right. Taking the standard deduction, getting a family tax break. That sounds good. Child and other dependent credits. So the child tax credit's for $2,000 per child. I got 2 kids in this example. So that's that. And the dependent care credit we typed in. Getting self-employed tax breaks. Qualified business income. All right, so QBI, qualified business income. You get basically 20% of the net business income minus 1/2 of your self-employment tax times the 20% is QBI deduction. Now, there's a chance you might not qualify for that, but hopefully TurboTax will take care of that. If your income is high enough and you're in a specific industry, such as consulting, which we were, your QBI can be reduced down to 0. Excuse me, I told you it was late. And you qualify for an additional tax break. Student loan interest, that's a good deduction. Thank you. All right. I don't think TurboTax is going to show me the actual tax return. I think the reason they do that is because they don't want me to look at a tax return, fill it out myself, and not pay them any money. Because I haven't paid them yet. So that's about it. TurboTax. Review. Okay, there we go. We got this pulled back up. Federal. I don't think I'm going to be able to see. Let's go to the print center. Yeah, it's not going to let me take a look at it. So there's TurboTax for you. So I walked through the interview process. Again, for me, I had W-2 income, I had interest income, I had student loan deduction, I had some charitable gifts, I had a Schedule C business. I could have entered in all that information fairly quickly, a lot quicker than I went through this interview process because there's a lot of things that just didn't apply to me. But again, for someone who's not really up to speed on the tax laws, that's a lot of good information that they're going to give you to help you make sure that you take care of everything. There was a lot that it didn't prompt me about my business. I wasn't real sure what I was allowed to deduct and what I wasn't. Didn't ask me about the child dependent care credit and tell me that both of us had to work to qualify for that. It didn't give me a lot of information on whether or not I was allowed to take these deductions. I just typed in the information. So one thing TurboTax is not going to do is they're not going to guarantee your accurate return. If you type in something that you're not actually allowed to deduct, they will not stand behind that. They're only going to stand behind the calculations that they make. All right. So if you are not very certain or willing to spend a pretty good amount of time doing research and then also making sure that where you do your research is a reliable source, then I would say you probably want someone who's experienced in preparing tax returns to do this for you. The refund thing up there in the corner, again, just watching it go up and down, in my opinion, might entice someone to type something in incorrectly just because they like to see that refund number go up. They didn't show me the actual return. I can't check to make sure TurboTax actually did this right. TurboTax has a guarantee that they'll stand behind their calculations. They're not going to stand behind you typing in deductions that you don't actually qualify for. It did say that they have audit protection or assurance or assistance so that if I get audited, they're going to help me navigate that. But again, if I typed in a deduction I'm not qualified for because I misunderstood a question or didn't do the research, didn't take the time, then I'm just out of luck and I'm going to have to pay the taxes that I should have paid to begin with, plus penalties and interest on top of that. So I'm not a big fan. Again, I think my minimum fee is $300, is $299 for a basic return. Which again, if you just have a W-2, I might would use TurboTax, but it's going to take you a lot of time jumping through all their hoops and answering all these questions that don't apply to you just to type in a W-2. Sure, there's a way we could have skipped all that, but if if you have any more than that, I'd really recommend you paying a few $100s for more peace of mind than what TurboTax is going to give you. Because at the end of the day, it's just you sitting there. So there you have it. That's my 2021 TurboTax review, which is actually for preparing your 2020 tax return. And if you're doing it yourself, good luck. I hope you enjoy sitting down and do it yourself. Or if you prefer to spend more time with those two kids that you have in this example, or you prefer to spend more time watching Netflix or hanging out with friends on Zoom because we're still in a pandemic, or putting your mask on and going to the grocery store, or doing anything else other than your taxes, then reach out to a professional. Make sure you vet the professional. Ask them if they're familiar with the type of situation that you have, whether it's self-employment business or clergy or missionary, wages, or whatever it is that's specific to you. Make sure that they are experienced in that, because I'm not experienced in every single aspect of the tax code, and no preparer is. So make sure that they're experienced with what you're dealing with, and just make sure you have an overall general comfort with them. Use common sense, ask questions, and don't just blindly trust any tax preparer who says they can get you your maximum refund or guarantee you a refund, because that's really based on, if you had enough withholding or your specific situation. This one could have very easily come out owing taxes with that self-employment income. We just got lucky that our child tax credits and our withholding from our W-2 job actually not only covered our income taxes, but apparently, I can't check the return here or see the actual return, but apparently that even covered our self-employment taxes on that self-employment income. So again, there you go. My name is Brad. I'm the owner of Wooten CPA. My goal is to bring peace to your tax and finance responsibilities. One of the ways I do that is through these YouTube videos. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like button and to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you're notified of new videos when they come out. Thanks for watching.